Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati, the New York Mets play the Cincinnati Reds. Tonight's game is presented by Moo Moo. And a pleasant good evening, everybody, and welcome to Cincinnati. Gary Cohen, Keith Hernandez with you tonight as the Mets open a 6-game road trip with the first of 3 against the Cincinnati Reds. The ever-in-flux Mets rotation took another hit today. Christian Scott, who was scheduled to start one of the games in this series, has a hip impingement. He goes on the injured list. Probably will miss only 2 starts. Tobias Myers back from the minors to start today. Kodai Senga pulled off rehab. He'll start tomorrow.
Well, this is why you have depth in the minor leagues, and they're going to bring up Senga. And it also becomes incumbent on Sean Manaea to pitch off a good start. They've got to plug the gaps. You have injuries in the course of the season, and it takes 25, 26 to win now. And these guys that are getting called up are going to have to fill the void.
Mets come in on a high note, having won 2 of 3 from the first-place Braves over the weekend. A.J. Ewing had a breakout game yesterday with 3 hits, including a home run.
Well, 3 for 5, hit his second home run, and he sprayed the ball around the field. He's got a very compact swing. I love that double down the left field line. Here he is up the middle on a base hit, and then he turned on that cutter for his second home run of the year. In his first 31 games here in the big leagues, he has been on base 23 times, Gary, and I think eventually they're going to switch him with Benj, and he will be the future Met leadoff hitter.
The Cincinnati Reds beat the Mets 2 out of 3 in New York last month, but starting with the last game of that series, the Reds have lost 12 of their last 16. They've lost their shortstop, Elly De La Cruz, to the injured list. Their bullpen is beat up. They're struggling.
Yeah, they've lost 5 series in a row. They haven't hit, and they really haven't hit with runners in scoring position, and their bullpen is all banged up. They got a team ERA over 5. It's just kind of all falling apart for this Reds team.
But their best bet is pitching for them tonight. Chase Burns, in his first full big league season, has been really spectacular.
Well, he's 3rd in the National League in ERA and 7th in strikeouts. He beat the Mets back at Citi Field. Soto hit a 2-run home run off him in the 6th inning. Didn't finish that inning, but he got the win.
It's a beautiful night in the Queen City. Grab your Skyline chili and let's go. It's the Mets and the Reds at Great American Ballpark. All the action coming your way on SNY. New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by your local tri-state area Audi dealers, by Spectrum. It's internet, mobile, and streaming TV, all from one place. By the New York Lottery. Play today and start imagining your win. And by Toyota. Dear summer, go farther with Toyota. Toyota, let's go places. The MLB Journey to 30 sweepstakes, presented by T-Mobile, is the ultimate MLB fan bucket list. Visit MLB.com/journey to 30 sweeps for your chance to win trips to all 30 ballparks. Your Papa John's key ingredients. Mets bullpen has been the most consistent unit on the team, particularly since the start of May. 4th best in the majors at 2.81. The Reds, by contrast, since May 1st, their bullpen ERA is 6.30. Mets hope to keep some momentum going in the Queen City. Mets and Reds in Cincinnati. First pitch is coming right up.
$9 a month.
72 degrees, beautiful blue skies above Cincinnati, on the banks of the Ohio River. Honda starting lineup for the Mets today. Every available left-handed bat is in there. Francisco Alvarez, who sat the game yesterday, back in there behind the plate. Otherwise, the Mets going with the same unit, trying to do better this time against the hard-throwing right-hander Chase Burns.
There's Chase Burns, 23 years of age, 6'3", 210 pounds, born in Napoli, Italy. Went to the University of Tennessee, then transferred to Wake Forest. Was the #1 draft pick in 2024, first-round pick, 2nd in the country by the Reds. And here he is. That was in 2024, and here he is in the big leagues in 1 year.
Only pitched in 13 minor league games before his call-up last season.
And your Reds defense presented by Moo Moo, and you're going to have Blake Dunn in center field. He's played all 3 outfield positions. Edwin Steer has played second base, left field, right field, 17 games at first base. He's bounced around. McLean has moved over from second base with the injury to De La Cruz, and this is his 14th start at shortstop.
See, Noelvi Marte, he was not with the Reds when they played in New York. Got off to a terrible start, got sent to the minors, but he's been hot since coming back. And right now, Terry Francona needs every hot bat he can get. Meanwhile, Carlos Mendoza trying to shuffle his rotation and keep his bullpen intact. That bullpen has been spectacular, but they've been throwing so many innings. At some point, the Mets are going to need some length from some starting pitchers.
Well, we'll see how the Mets offense handles Burns now. They just saw him 10 days ago, and he's a fastball pitcher up in the strike zone and slider. Two-pitch pitcher, throws very, very hard. He had the Mets shut out through 5. He struck out 8 in that appearance.
He'll throw the occasional changeup, but he drops his arm when he throws his changeup. He kind of gives it away. So for now, pretty much a two-pitch guy. Carson Bench went 0 for 3 against Burns first time around. First pitch of the night is a fastball inside for ball 1, and we're underway.
You have to be a little set on this guy. He rushes it up there.
Carson Bench over the last 40 games hitting .297 with an .815 OPS. The third baseman Suarez in on the grass against him, and Carson takes another fastball inside, and it's 2-0. See the shadow. It gets dark a lot later here in Cincinnati than it does in New York, on the western fringe of the Eastern time zone. And Burns throws a fastball by Bench, and it's 2-1.
Well, you know what you're going to get off Burns. I mean, if you are looking for a breaking ball, you're out of your mind. You're going to get 6-5 pitches, 3 over half are going to be heaters.
And if you get the slider, it's hard to hit. And that fastball caught the outside corner, and it's 2-2. When he throws the slider, the opposition batting average against that pitch is 140. Throws the slider about 35% of the time. So far, 4 straight fastballs to Bench, Bichette and Soto to follow, and Carson fouls off a 99-mile-an-hour fastball.
This is a small ballpark in the gap in right center field. In particular, the wind blows out to right. It is only 370, and I'll remind you, the smallest park in my day in the National League was Wrigley Field, and it was 368 in the gaps. It's only 370 here in Cincinnati.
Well, it's 2 feet further. And Bench goes down on the slider, and Burns has a strikeout to start his night. That's a nasty slider.
Well, this is, yeah, there it is, and it's out of the strike zone, but it's the first one you see. And remember, in the last start, too, in the first inning, he struck out the first 3 batters as well. We'll see what happens here.
So now Bo Bichette, last 10 games, Bichette hitting .390 with a .1064 OPS, his best stretch as a Met so far. It's got 6 hits and 5 1/3. Or 4 hits and 5 1/3 against Burns. Bichette had one of those 4. One thing to keep in mind with Chase Burns tonight, his last start against the Padres on Tuesday, he threw 105 pitches. It was the first time in his career they had allowed him to go over 100. So we'll see whether they shorten his start today and whether he suffers any ill effects from having gone further than he ever had before. 1-1 to Bichette.
Whoa.
That sails over Stevenson's glove. He gets it on the carom. Nice play. 2-1.
There's Terry Francona. What's the second year here in Cincinnati?
Yep, they won 83 games last year, edged out the Mets for the final postseason berth before being swept by the Dodgers in the wild card series. Chasing a slider, and it's 2-2 to Bichette. The last time the Reds won a postseason series was 1995.
Wow.
They've been to the postseason a few times since then, but never won a series. That's lined into left field, and Bichette has a base hit. That'll go back to the wall. And Bo on his way to second base with his 10th double of the year. So Bo Bichette stays hot, and the Mets have a runner at second with 1 out.
Hanging slider. They haven't been paying attention. Bo, if you remember now, folks, he pulls that slider. A lot of his hits to left field have been on that slider, and they've been hanging like that. And that brings up Mr. Soto, who kind of figured out Burns in his last start. Hit the 2-run home run off him in the 6th.
Soto's put together 4 straight multiple hit games coming into tonight. And he asked for time right before the pitch was thrown, much to the dismay of the crowd here in Cincinnati. You know Soto's locked in right now. 8 for 14 in the last 4 games. 31 straight plate appearances without a strikeout. Right now he is seeing the ball as well as he has all year. He is up to 3rd in the National League in OPS, up to 948 for the season. He and Bichette have been quite the combination, both hot at the same time this last week. And Burns came up and in, and Soto could not hold it. 0-1.
Yeah, that fastball, usually his fastball straight, that kind of ran in, fooled Juan, tied him up.
Interesting to see Soto wearing sunglasses. It's sunny out in center field, and there's sun against the batter's eye, even though pitcher and hitter are both in shade, but he's wearing the sunglasses. And Burns beats him up and in again, and it's 0-2.
Yep. If you're going to pitch Juan, you got to pitch any good hitter. Up and in's the toughest pitch to hit, and he will chase. But boy, if you miss elevation wise and get it down the letters, you're going to rub up a new one.
And again, he comes up and in, and Soto gives a little stare after 3 in a row up and in. Chase Burns, as Keith mentioned, born in Naples. Parents were both in the Navy. That's why he was born overseas. And a good changeup there to strike out Soto. And Burns with his 2nd strikeout, 2 down in the inning.
I think that was a slider, Gare. Let's see the rotation.
Yeah,
yep,
you're right.
Yep, slider. And it's a better one than got bench. It was a better one. This one was more of a baiting slider. Started out in the strike zone.
So 2 out Bichette at second. Here's Jared Young. Young drove in the first Met run yesterday in their 8-1 win. Fouls back a high heater.
Young likes that fastball. He's a low ball hitter. Mentioned it several times, but probably have some new viewers, just making sure that no people are just beginning to watch.
You know, all the basketball fans?
He has all the basketball.
Well, hockey fans too.
Yeah, it's true.
Stanley Cup was settled last night.
That's right. Carolina took the bacon home, huh?
That's the Hartford Whalers to you. 1-1 to Young. Threw that fastball right by him. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
You know, I got to think the reason why they probably let Burns go 105 innings, Gary, is you mentioned how abysmal the bullpen has been, and the Reds are in such dire need to win ball games.
Well, they're missing 3 big pieces in their bullpen, and they have really struggled as a result. Young goes down swinging. All fastballs from Burns, who strikes out 3 in the inning around the Bichette double. Tobias Myers up. J.J. Bleday having a career year. Sal Stewart a good rookie season. Spencer Steer's been ice cold lately. Noelvi Marte's been swinging it well since they called him back up a couple of weeks ago. A little different look with Ellie De La Cruz out of the lineup, and Tobias Myers will be the opener for the Mets tonight.
Yes, as you can see, this will be his 3rd start of the season, mainly in relief. He's got reverse splits. Right-handers hitting .327 off of him with 7 doubles, 2 triples, and 3 home runs. So a lot of extra base hits in the Met defense. Brought to you by Genesis. You got Soto back in left field. Beatty. This has been pretty much the everyday lineup right here. Alvarez behind the plate instead of Torrens.
Blake Dunn leads off and takes fastball strike. Well, in deference to the fact that Myers has struggled against righties and the fact that everybody anticipates David Peterson having a role in this game, the Reds have loaded up their lineup with right-handed bats. Dunn flies one out to center. Ewing got a late start in. Benj coming across. He can't make the catch. Dunn trying for second, and he makes it safely. Ewing has had a tendency lately to step back on balls hit to shallow center, and Benj tried to bail him out coming in from the angle, but could not quite get there, and it's a 2-base hit for Blake Dunn.
And also you've got some shadows here. You can see Ewing. He took 2 couple steps and then a late decision to come in, and it was too late.
Benj almost got it.
Yes, he did. He got the glove on, the backhand just popped out.
So leadoff double for Dunn, and now J.J. Bleday having himself a fine year. Myers misses high, ball one. We were talking last week about Jordan Walker of the Cardinals and how much of a stride he's taken from last year to this. Well, Bleday has almost made as big a leap. There's the good splitter by Myers, and it's 1-1. Bleday was a first-round draft pick of the Marlins, played with the A's last year, had a .698 OPS. This year, .930. So he has taken that big leap forward. And Myers gets that splitter in for a strike, and it's 1-2.
He's going to lose this challenge. That's a strike.
I hear tones. Do you hear tones? Like a telephone? That is a strike. So
yes. It's cost his team a
second batter in the first inning, and the Reds are down to one challenge for the game.
I'm just astounded that some of these hitters do this.
I'm astounded that managers let them.
It would be, you know, a butt chewing. What are you doing?
ABS powered by T-Mobile. 1-2 to Bleday. Sal Stewart on deck. Bleday, the only left-handed bat in the lineup today for the Reds. They have one switch hitter, and Edwin Arroyo hitting ninth in the order. Myers has not thrown more than 40 pitches in any appearance this year. Never threw more than 36 in the 3 minor league games that he pitched in. So he is not stretched out to be a full starter. And that's lined into right field, and that is caught. Shoestring grab by Benj, who fires it back in on one hop to third base. Benj hesitated a little coming in on that ball, but then made the shoestring catch to retire Bleday for the first out.
I got to think right now. You're in a the western part of the Eastern time zone, and now these young outfielders here, Ewing and Benj, they're getting acclimated here. They've never played in this park, and it's shadows.
Well, it's a park where you can play shallow because the outfield is not very deep, and they go back on balls so well.
Did you see that arm by Benj in the third?
He is he's got a spectacular arm, no question about that.
One hop to Beatty.
Here's the rookie Sal Stewart, just 22 years old, and he is a big power threat. 13 home runs. This is a Reds team that is very much a 3 true outcome team. They hit home runs, they draw walks, they strike out a lot.
He's lost a lot of weight this year too, correct? In the offseason, he was a little heavier last year.
Well, he came up with a bang last year as that fastball is deemed to be high by the home plate umpire Mark Wegner, and it's 2-0. Stewart had just 55 at bats last year when he came up, hit 5 home runs, and he is still a rookie and having a great year. The slider off the plate from Myers, and now he's behind Stewart 3-0. Spencer Steer on deck.
One of the positives of this lineup for the Reds is that they do walk. They're 5th in the National League in walks.
And a 4-pitch walk to Stewart puts 2 men aboard. So a shaky beginning for Myers. Pop-up that should have been caught that fell for a double. A liner that should have been a hit that was caught, and now a 4-pitch walk. And now Steer, who is in the lineup today, which was a little bit surprising because Nathaniel Lowe is on the bench, and Steer is in a huge slump right now, just 1 for his last 26.
Sometimes the managers just play hunches.
I think it came down to the fact that with Myers struggling against right-hand hitters, as you mentioned, and Peterson on tap for later in the game, that Tito figured he'd go with the right-handed bat. See if it works out for him. Dunn at second. Great speed there. Stewart at first. And Myers gets that fastball in at the knees for a strike. 0-1. The runners go. Throw to second from his knees, and and Stewart is safe. It's a double steal. So with the Reds struggling for offense, Dunn and Stewart pull off a double steal.
Well, that's their 57th and 58th stolen base of the year as a team. Throw the back runner, tried to get the back runner.
Smart move by Alvarez. There was no way he was going to get done at third.
They are tied for sixth in stolen bases.
Mets are going to back their infield up and concede a run on a ground ball. Myers looking for a strikeout, ahead 0-2 on Steer. And he comes up and in with a fastball, 1-2. For Dunn, his 6th stolen base of the year. For Stewart, his 11th. Stewart is not a fast man, but he has picked his spots well. One-two coming, and Steer lays off the slider. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
This has been the big bugaboo for the Reds, not hitting with runners in scoring position.
They are last in the majors, hitting .215 in these situations. And during this losing streak, last 12 games, hitting .135. Now Myers, after getting ahead 0-2, has run a full count. Eugenio Suarez on deck. Myers' last big league outing was May 29th against Miami. Gave up a couple of runs in that outing. He struggled his last 5 appearances before he was sent down. Steer chops one to third. Beatty's going to have to go to first with it as a run comes home. Low throw handled by Young, and the Reds take a 1-0 lead. So the double steal pays off in a run. Dunn comes home to score. 1-0 Cincinnati.
Good base running by Dunn at third. Came down the line and it wanted to score. Ball wasn't hit hard. Got a good jump. Nothing Beatty can do with that high chop.
Made sure that Stewart didn't advance. So he's still at second with 2 out. Now here's Eugenio Suarez back in Cincinnati, where he had such great years with the Reds. Suarez last year started out the year with Seattle, finished it with Arizona, hit 49 home runs. Actually, the other way around. Started with Arizona, went to Seattle. 49 home runs in the regular season, 3 more in the postseason. It's off to a rough start in his return to the Reds. He just .215 with 5 home runs.
It's only his 45th game. He was on the IL for a bit.
He lingered on the free agent market for a long time until the Reds signed him in February to a 1-year deal. Just 34 years old, 330 big league home runs. And this is a perfect ballpark for him. And Myers falls behind him 3-1. Elvi Marte is the on deck batter. Myers already 20 pitches deep into this opening inning with a run already home. And Suarez takes the splitter for a strike, and it's 3-2. Stewart at second with 2 out. And Suarez skies one to left. Soto can't see it. Goes back to the warning track, and he's nothing he can do about it. It's in the seats. A 2-run homer for Eugenio Suarez, and it's 3-0 Cincinnati. Sixth home run of the year for Suarez. And Tobias Myers returned to the big leagues. Takes a big hit in the opening inning.
7th home run he's given up on the season. And a fastball here. A hitter's count. Well, actually it was 3-2, but he was ahead 3-1. And Soto having trouble as well. But this ballpark right here, you get it in the air, it's going to go.
It's a 12-foot fence in left field, and Suarez was able to clear it. And MLB Marte started the year with the Reds, got sent down because he wasn't hitting, but he's been hitting since he came back. He's got a 7-game hitting streak going, has an OPS over 1,000 during that stretch. Remember last year they moved Marte from third base to right field. We saw him make some great plays in right field, and he hit, but this year he did not hit, and he got sent down. Still just 24 years old. Myers just trying to put the brakes on this inning, and he strikes out Marte to end it, but not before the Reds score 3, 2 of them on an Eugenio Suarez home run. 3-0 Reds.
Flash fireworks.
Chase Burns takes to a 3-0 lead as we go to the second. A.J. Ewing leads off. Ewing coming off a 3-hit day yesterday, single, double, and home run. This is a home game for A.J. Grew up about an hour north of here. Born in Kettering, Ohio. Went to high school in Springboro, which is about 45 minutes north of here.
And when I said in the open that Ewing will, I think, eventually become the Mets leadoff hitter, it's because Benj has more power and Ewing gets on base. He has a good eye. He walks. He's a line drive hitter. He can steal bases. I think eventually, as Benj matures, I'm hopeful he can become the third hitter.
Popped up on the left side, and Suarez right on the outfield rim to grab it one way. On June 25th, the first 18,000 fans will get a Juan Soto baseball card bobblehead. Get your tickets at Mets.com/tickets.
I'll have to get one of those.
Yes, you will.
And one for my buddy in Sag Harbor.
Here's Marcus Semien, who homered yesterday, much to the dismay of Michael Harris, who had it in his glove and then lost it over the fence. It was Semien's 9th home run of the season. Another good slider by Burns. The Mets have not come close to one yet.
He has not got the slider over yet. I know he throws hard, and you got to be geared fastball. There's one he finally got over.
And that
that stayed fair.
Over the bag. It's called a foul ball, though. I don't know about that.
Whoa.
First base umpire Carlos Torres called it foul. I'm not sure that it was.
That was close. I think that had a little sidewinder spin on it, and it came back into, wanted to come back to fair territory.
Like that one Vientos at the other.
Oh, that was off the charts, though.
I mean, this goes right over the bag. That's a fair ball.
Oh.
Ooh.
Let's see another look. It's going to hit in fair territory. No, it's foul. It's foul.
2-2 now to Semien. All right, Carlos, you got it right. We take it back.
Yes. We're not perfect.
Brett Beatty waiting on deck. Well, he is. Strive for perfection. Can't reach it. Semien down on strikes. That's 4 Ks through the first 6 batters for Chase Burns, picking up where he left off against the Mets 3 weeks ago.
Last start. 1, 2, 3 in the first, all strikeouts. I think he wound up with 8 on the day, but Soto figured him out.
Yeah, but by the time he did, the Mets were down 6-0.
Yes, they were.
Yeah, Burns has himself a nice early lead in this game as well. For a team that has not been scoring runs lately. Reds just finished a 3-game series with the Diamondbacks. They scored just 7 runs in the 3 games. They won the middle game of that series 2-1.
Changeup, first one. So it's out. Go ahead, Gary. I'm sorry.
Brett Beatty had a big day yesterday. He was on base 4 times, 2 hits and 2 walks. Bounces one foul, 1-2.
It's not a great slider that I've seen so far from Burns. It's the second time I've seen him, and it's early in this game. But he throws so hard, and he's upstairs with his fastball. His slider becomes effective down. He's up and down the ladder pitcher. That slider has a little break late down. So he starts it at the knee. It's not going to be a strike. But you only got a split second to think on that.
And he blows away Beatty with a fastball. 5 Ks through the first 2 innings for Chase Burns. 3-0 Cincinnati.
Tucson. Lease an all-wheel drive Hyundai Tucson SE for $209 a month, or get 0.99% APR for 60 months. Hurry in.
Home second inning. Tobias Myers stays out there. Gets first pitch strike to Matt McLean. McLean's moved over to play shortstop these days with Ellie De La Cruz on the injured list with a hamstring. De La Cruz they think will be out on rehab by the end of this week and could be back as early as next week. As both teams are missing their shortstops right now. Francisco Lindor had another simulated game at Citi Field today for 3 innings. Took at bats, took ground balls. And he could be out on a rehab assignment before too terribly long. Same thing with Ronnie Mauricio, who's coming back from a fractured thumb. He could be on rehab by the end of the week. Myers misses with the slider, and he's behind again, 3-1.
Yeah, Tobias has just been erratic. Just can't find the range on his slider.
Tyler Stevenson on deck, then Edwin Arroyo, and there's a leadoff walk to McLean. Second walk given up by Myers. Stock up, stock down, presented by Moo. Zach Gelof's A's. Well, they scored 9 runs yesterday and lost by 14.
Did they give up 23?
They did. The Rockies scored 23, the most they'd ever scored in a game. This was in Las Vegas. Rockies had never scored 23 at Coors, but they did in Vegas. Imagine when the A's move there full time, what the offense is going to be like there. Tyler Stevenson takes a strike. So the Marlins are on a hot streak, but they are running into Zach Wheeler tonight, and they're down 3-0 in the 4th in Philadelphia. Mets will be going to Philly from here for a series that starts on Thursday. Tyler Stevenson has not had a great season so far, but he had a really good series at Citi Field, including a big home run that helped the Reds win a game. Stevenson now in his 7th year. They got their other catcher back from the injured list yesterday, Jose Trevino, the former Yankee. Myers misses badly with that slider, and it's 2-1.
Boy, I'd be inclined right now to get somebody up in that bullpen. Myers is just really pitching behind in the count. Can't get his breaking ball over. You don't want to let this game get away from you early.
That's linked into left field, a base hit for Stevenson. Now the Reds have the first 2 men on in the 2nd. They're hitting some balls very hard against Myers.
Well, he likes that ball down middle in. Hit the home run, I believe, off Peterson on a ball down and in. Down was a line drive down the left field line at Citi Field.
Well, Carlos Mendoza was cagey about his game plan for this game after Myers. Certainly everybody expected David Peterson to be the next pitcher. Edwin Arroyo, the number 9 hitter, is bunting, and it goes foul.
Well, I guess, Terry Francona, when your team is struggling for runs and you've got your ace on the hill and Chase Burns, you're going to try to get it scrape any runs any way you can.
They ran a double steal in the 1st inning.
That was not conservative. This is conservative.
Well, Arroyo's a rookie, only 2 weeks into his big league career, so not surprised that he's being asked to bunt. And he gets this one down. Myers has nobody to throw to at 3rd, so he's got to go to 1st and not in time. Beatty vacated on a ball that Myers clearly was going to field. Myers looked to see if he had to play at third, but Beatty was nowhere near third base. And the bases are loaded with nobody out.
And there's mistake number 2 by the Mets here. First inning, the fly ball, that blooper that dropped in the shadows, and now here Beatty not going back to the bag. And he hustled down that line and beat it.
So it's a bunt single for Arroyo to load the bases with nobody out for Blake Dunn. Dunn takes first pitch slider for a strike.
Corners in for the Mets, playing back for 2 up the middle, and I agree 100%.
And Dunn pops this one up. Infield fly if it's fair. And Beatty in fair territory makes the grab for the first out.
If I remember correctly, Dunn had more than a few chances with men on base at Citi Field in that last. That's Pintero. Jonathan Pintero just called up, back up.
The Mets placing Christian Scott on the injured list today. They also sent Daniel Duarte down after Duarte worked the last 2 days. And so Pintaro is here along with Myers. And then the Mets will have to make another move tomorrow to activate Senga. Here's J.J. Bleday, who lined out to right his first time, and he takes way up high.
He's very erratic with that slider here, and he's pretty much forced to come in with the fastball, and you've got to be sitting fastball if you're a hitter.
Bleday fouls back a fastball, and it's 1-1. .40 pitches matches the most Myers has thrown in any game this year. Bleday takes a splitter down, 2 balls and a strike.
You know, sometimes, and Ronnie has mentioned it too, when you're struggling with your secondary pitches, you just got to just trust in your fastball and hope that if the ball's put in play, it finds a glove. Can't be falling behind.
Well, Myers needs a ground ball in the worst way. This is inside with the fastball, and he falls behind 3-1 on Bleday with no place to put him. This might well be Myers' last batter. And Bleday draws the walk, and that'll force in another run. And it's 4-0 Cincinnati.
God.
Mets are going to challenge the ball 4 call.
It was low. It was low.
Quite a bit. I think the right call was Sterling Optical. See clearly and looked great doing it. Now that's going to be it for Myers, who had a dreadful outing in his return to the big leagues.
I just questioned that last call. Really questioned it. 3-1. Got a pitcher struggling with his secondary pitches, and you call a split finger, and he's only thrown not even a handful of them. It just doesn't make sense.
Myers faces 11 batters, retires only 4 of them. Call to the bullpen brought to you by Nissan.
Neighbor, State Farm is there.
The Roebling Bridge in Cincinnati. It was the prototype for the Brooklyn Bridge. You can see the similarities. Spanning the Ohio River. Jonathan Pintaro has been really good for the Mets in his sporadic appearances this year. He's only given up 1 hit over 6 2/3 innings, only 1 walk. Comes into a mess. That's already down 4-0 in the second. Bases loaded and 1 out. And the power hitting Sal Stewart at the plate. Stewart walked, stole a base, scored a run in the first. Takes fastball strike from Pintaro on the edge, 0-1.
Pintaro's kind of like a little bit of a slinger, almost sidearm, kind of whips it up to the plate there.
He threw a fastball right by Stewart, and it's 0-2. And that's been the best calling card for Pintaro so far. He has been fearless about coming into the strike zone, something that eluded Tobias Myers today. Myers went 43 pitches over an inning and a third, 4 hits and 3 walks. 0-2 coming to Stewart. He fouled it back on a high cutter. What do you call that song?
I have no idea. The music the other day in the pregame was awful. A good eye right there. Good attempt up and in. Fastball. Now it can open up the outside corner.
Stevenson at third, Arroyo at second, Bleday at first with 1 out. A run already home here in the second. One and 2 to Sal Stewart with Steer on deck, and Stewart pokes one the other way for a base hit. Now to bring in Stevenson. Everybody else moves up a base. Sal Stewart drives in his 43rd run of the year, taking that breaking ball the other way. And it's 5-0 Cincinnati.
Pintaro's cutter is flat. It's horizontal. Now it's out of the strike zone, but the fact that it stays on the horizontal plane, it allows really Stewart just to slap it into right field. It's good hitting.
So the bases remain loaded for Spencer Steer. Steer drove in the first Cincinnati run with a ground out in the first. So this game is going downhill quickly. And it'll be interesting to see how Carlos Mendoza manages the rest of the game. Do you simply punt this game away?
It's too early to do that. You can consider this ballpark as a hitter-friendly park, even though you've got Chase Burns out there, but they can get to him. So not yet. Definitely not yet. I mean, they can blow the game open right here with a double in the gap or a base hit.
Fastball away, 2-1. Well, all of the events of today, with Myers being called up to be the opener and Scott going on the injured list, all points to a fact that has really plagued the Mets all year: consistency in their starting rotation. You know, there are 30 major league teams, and every team other than the Mets has had at least 3 starters make 10 or more starts. The Mets are the only team that has only 2 starters who have made 10 or more starts, and that's Freddie Peralta and Nolan McLean. With Clay Holmes getting hurt and Senga ineffective and then placed on the injured list, and Jonah Tong coming up and getting sent right back down. They brought up Zach Thornton for a look, and he got sent back down. Fastball away, 3-2. Mets thought they had a lot of depth in their starting rotation when the year began, but it doesn't feel that way right now. 3-2 with the bases loaded. Struggling hitter at the plate and Steer. And Pintaro strikes him out with a cutter. Now that's the second out of the inning. So Steer's woes continue. Just 1 for his last 28.
This might not have been a strike. Too close to take.
And now Eugenio Suarez, with the 2-run homer off Myers in the first inning, his 6th of the year. He bats with the bases loaded. Suarez, the 8th man up in the inning.
Oh boy.
Pintaro is the rare pitcher who works from dead center on the rubber. See most pitchers favoring either one side or the other, but he is right in the middle.
Well, it's a big pitch right here, obviously.
Suarez fouls off a cutter. Pintaro in his.
Well, here's his home run. That was a fastball. 3-2.
.331st career home run for Suarez. And cutter away, and again Pintaro runs a 3-ball count with the bases loaded.
Just staying away from all these right-hand hitters.
Arroyo at third, Bleday at second, Stewart at first with 2 out. 3-1 to Suarez, and he takes that one for a strike. So now the merry-go-round will be in motion. .3-2 coming, and Suarez flies one out to center field. Ewing started in, now goes back to the warning track at the wall. It's out of here. A grand slam for Eugenio Suarez, his second home run of the night, his 9th grand slam of his career, and the Mets have been dunked in the second inning. It's 9-0 Cincinnati.
Slam dunk, Gare. Now you think about maybe punting, Gare. We've seen comebacks before, but this is have a day, Mr. Suarez. Fastball right down the old pipe. 3-2, bases loaded. Did you note Ewing came in a couple steps first? They're not picking that ball up well.
Welby Marte, the 9th man up in the inning. Reds with 3 in the first, capped by a Suarez 2-run homer, 6 in the second. Suarez with a grand slam. '24th career multiple home run game for Suarez. Marte struck out on 3 pitches against Myers in the first inning. This one's flied out to right, and Benj jogs in, and the inning finally comes to an end. But 9 Reds came to bat, and 6 of them scored, and the Mets are down 9-0. 53 years in the making, the Knicks return to Broadway's greatest stage for what could be the biggest celebration in New York history. Join SNY's Knicks insider Ian Begley along with our team of analysts for complete coverage of the parade route. The Putback Knicks Championship Parade. Live coverage begins Thursday at 10 a.m. right here on SNY. Well, it's been a parade of Reds in the first 2 innings, crossing home plate. Chase Burns living large with a 9-0 lead. MJ Melendez up for the first time. Melendez, Alvarez, and Benj 8, 9, and 1 on the order as the Mets try and get a measure of Burns, who struck out 5 over the first 2 innings. It's barely like he's needed that much help. And Melendez fouls one off, and it's 1-2. So we were talking before about punting this game, and with Myers getting beat up and Peterson available, do you even run Peterson out there in a game like this, or do you save him for tomorrow to back up Kodai Senga?
I think you save him for Kodai, because there's no guarantee with Kodai.
So then the question is, who soaks up the rest of this game? You can run Pintaro out for a couple of more innings, maybe Austin Warren, and at some point you end up pitching Luis Torrens for a couple of innings.
You can't pitch Perez today. He threw 20 pitches yesterday. I would not want to use Warren today. I would not want to use Weaver. I would not want to use Brazoban.
Who's left?
We can always go to one of the Carson Art players.
I mean, this is the trouble with being as pitching thin as the Mets are. You're just not getting enough starting assignments, getting you deep enough in games so that you have a rested bullpen. The bullpen has been fantastic.
Yep.
I mean, 3 times in the last 10 days, the Mets have had 4-inning hitless relief outings.
How many
Melendez
pitches?
strikes out. But you can't keep running them out there for 4 and 5 innings every day and expect to have them when you need them.
How many pitches did Pintaro throw that inning here? Since I forgot my iPad, and
20.
20. I think they're going to run Pintaro out there for quite a bit.
I mean, you can't run them out there for more than 3 innings.
Well,
you're not going to leave them out there for the rest of the day.
Well, you're going to. There was a day when they used to do that.
Well, I understand that, but that doesn't happen anymore. Here's Francisco Alvarez. His 5th game since coming back from the injured list. He's gone 3 for 14 with a home run since his return. Bouncing ball, and in comes the second baseman Arroyo to get it. And that's the second out. So 2 out and nobody on. Carson Bench coming up. Nobody gets hurt when they're in a slump, right? Clay Holmes was the Mets' best starter for the first month and a half of the season.
Right.
He got hurt. Christian Scott had been the Mets' best starter since Holmes went down. Now he goes on the injured list. And even if it's only to miss a couple of starts, it just puts a big crimp in this team, much like when Senga got hurt last year. And then Griffin Canning went down, and all of a sudden the Mets pitching was in disarray. They find themselves in a similar spot now.
I think they're going to try to get 3 out of Pintaro. I guess they're going to have to go.
Bench flies it into left center, and Dunn runs it down. Side retired.
They're going to have to run Peterson out.
Again, Huggies, designed with NICU nurses.
Home 3rd inning. Matt McLean, who led off the 2nd for the Reds, leads off the 3rd. Now against Jonathan Pintaro. Tobias Myers went an inning and a 3rd, and he gave up 4 hits and 7 earned runs.
Those leadoff walks always are ominous.
McLean, then Tyler Stevenson, and then Edward Arroyo. So in the 7-8 spots, the Reds have McLean, Stevenson.
Oh, I know where you're going.
I just went there.
Yes, you did. Mash.
Do 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 do. Oh, and McLean gets drilled. And for the 3rd straight inning, the Reds get the leadoff man on. So who knows how many runs the Reds are going to wind up scoring in this game. But, we talked earlier about the Rockies scoring 23 yesterday in Vegas.
Yes.
And the fact that they had never scored that many at Coors Field.
Oh, that's right. Amazing. It's a funny game here.
I mean, the A's played 6 games in Las Vegas this week. And, yeah, it's a minor league park, but the air is maybe not quite as thin there as it is in Denver, but it's
thin enough.
It's still the desert. And you wonder when the A's move there permanently in a couple of years. Are they going to make the outfield as big as they did at Coors Field? Try and
it's going to
make it less of a home run paradise?
We got a problem here somewhere.
Yeah, just an equipment problem.
It's obviously going to have to be a dome, a retractable dome, the stadium, because it's just too darn hot. I mean, it's every bit as hot as Phoenix.
They have broken ground on the stadium in Las Vegas that the A's are going to play in a couple of years.
And you can lose a lot of money there, too, in that town.
Well, hopefully not at the ballpark. Actually, that's an interesting question. There's Tyler Stevenson with a run aboard. I mean, when you land in Vegas and you get off the plane, the first thing you see are slot machines in the airport.
Yes.
So are they going to have slot machines in the ballpark?
Oh, I don't think so.
Why not? I mean, baseball and all sports and gambling are all tied together now, right?
Yes.
So
We'll see.
I mean, some ballparks have sports books in the ballpark.
If you would have told me when I was a kid growing up that there would be any kind of professional sports team in Las Vegas, I would have said you're crazy.
Well, you probably didn't think that you'd be able to bet on any sport in the world on your phone either, did you?
People have been barred from the Hall of Fame from gambling.
That was a long time ago. Very different atmosphere. Stevenson takes a big cut at a cutter, and it's 2-2. Eugenio Suarez with the grand slam off Pintaro in the second. The 7th grand slam the Mets have given up this year. No other team has given up more than 4. 6 different Met pitchers have given up grand slams. Devin Williams has given up 2. Cutter misses inside to Stevenson. Full count with the rookie Edwin Arroyo on deck.
Lots of full counts so far.
And pitchers have already thrown 73 pitches to get 6 outs. Runner goes, and that's strike 3 called. The throw to second by Alvarez is offline. McClain steals the base as Stevenson strikes out for the first out. So McClain with his 11th steal of the year, the 3rd steal of the night for the Reds.
Well, he was looking back. It was a full count. So it's not like you're pouring it on.
Well, that's only the 3rd inning.
No, it's not pouring it on. 9-0.
You got to call off the jam in the 3rd inning just because it's 9-0?
I would be reluctant to steal.
Really?
Yes. I would be up at the plate and that happened. I would be ready to pull the ejector cord out of that James Bond, Austin Martin.
But I mean, the Mets have 6 more innings to bat.
I understand.
They could score 9 runs.
They could, absolutely.
They could score more than 9 runs.
I understand, but let the sleeping giant lie.
You're like a Lilliputian, leaving Gulliver alone.
Yes. What is going on here?
And just a little conversation at the mound. Got a pitcher who's struggling, catcher trying to settle him down.
Well, this is a Reds team that has had trouble scoring runs, and they got the.
Not today.
No, I'll tell you that.
The last time the Mets were this far behind this early in a game, you got to go back to 2022, game in San Francisco. Thomas Szapucki started the game for the Mets, his only career start, and the Mets were down 9 runs after 2 innings.
And it was a left-hander, right, Szapucki?
I'm not sure. I honestly don't remember. 2-0 to Edwin Arroyo, who had a bunt for a base hit his first time up. And he gets under one to right center. This time Ewing saw it. And he catches it. Tagging at second is McClain. He goes to third, 2 out. Well, the sunlight has finally left the field other than a small smidgen on the warning track in left center. And early in this game, Met outfielders were really having trouble seeing the ball.
Yeah.
Ewing in particular, but Soto also.
And you know what? This is something that you can't prepare for pregame because the shadows come into effect at game time. And so you can come out at 5 o'clock and hit fly balls and you're in the sun. But it's a different experience once the game starts with the shadows.
Dunn hits a ground ball to short, circling in Bichette. Throws out Dunn, side retired. Mets put up a 0 for the Reds. We go to the fourth inning, Cincinnati. It's been all Chase Burns and the Reds so far, so we need to take a break from all of that, and we are delighted to have joining us from the Mets dugout, Sean Manaea. Sean, Gary and Keith in the booth. It was so much fun watching you pitch on Saturday, finally getting your first start of the year. That had to feel awfully good.
Yeah, it did. I've been putting in a lot of work, and it feels good to see all that hard work. Just having some success. So, bang! Let's go.
Second extra base hit of the night for Bo Bichette as he goes the other way for a double.
Nice.
See, you've been inspiring already.
Yeah, let's go.
Now, I've heard you talk a lot about the work that you've done. Can you give us a little play-by-play on exactly what has happened since spring training to get you back to where you are now?
Yeah, we, me, Justin, Dan, Jags, had some conversations over the last, I would say, like 2 months. I would say it was spring training. We were doing some things, but I guess it wasn't really like a good routine at this point. And then as the season started, Vila was down. Wasn't really pitching well. So we kind of just sat down and had some hard conversations, and we're like, something's got to change. So I would say me and Dan kind of started putting this routine and all this like plyo ball stuff, water bag, all these different drills into place, and actually started doing a good routine with it. And slowly over the last couple months, things have started to feel really good. And it was that's basically what's been going on. And it's just having a squad in your corner, and people that believe in you and know that you can do well. You can go a long way.
What exactly? I know you said your velocity was down, Sean. At what point did you at some point just say, I'm just going to let it rip and let the ball, when it leaves my hand, it's out of my hand, and there's nothing more I can do, I can't guide it? Did it ever come to that point?
I would say yes, and I definitely was trying that early in the year when I was throwing, in the 88 to 89 mile an hour range. There wasn't a moment or anything like that where I was like, ooh, this feels like it's coming out absolute fire. And I felt like I felt the same throwing 88 as I did a couple days ago throwing 93. It just wasn't coming out like that. So whether it's just a mental thing or just stuff actually synced up and starting to feel good, I don't know what it is, but just know there's been a lot of work that's been going into all this stuff.
We saw you out there with that big water tank on your back. Exactly what is that supposed to be doing for you?
I think Skeens kind of popularized everything, and obviously that guy's pretty good. So, trying imitation's the best form of flattery, as they say. I don't know. There's so many different drills and things that you can do, and honestly, what works for me or what works for him isn't necessarily going to work for me. So, really, I think at the beginning it's kind of throwing stuff at the wall, see what sticks, and but that's where the communication with the pitching coaches comes in, and they're trying to communicate to me this is what you should be feeling, this is what this is what you should be feeling, and then slowly over time is I'm thinking about it as all right, this feels good. It kind of stuff just works into place.
Your last start now, when did you feel from the get-go that you had a rhythm, or did it, as the innings progressed, it just looked to me like you were just throwing effortlessly and with confidence? Did you find that rhythm? And was it for the first time this year that you found a groove?
Yeah. I would say from the beginning of the game, like starting kind of have that that build up, that that nervous energy, and at the end of the day, that's all it is. And I felt like I had that from the get-go. I'd say first couple pitches were like a little kind of squirrely there, but after that it was just like let's just attack these guys and see what happens. And give them some hard contact, and that's going to happen. But I would say for the most part, especially my four-seam fastball, I was just able to kind of live at that top rail, which is kind of crucial. And then my sweeper was just very, very consistent. I think those two things kind of work with each other, and it definitely helps out.
Steve was telling the story the other day that after you kind of dropped your arm angle in watching Chris sail, that the two of you had never actually gotten together to talk about that. Is that something that you sought out, or I mean, when pitchers from different teams are trying to learn stuff, do they reach out to one another, or is it just a matter of invitation? How does that all work?
I feel like some guys kind of don't really want to give up their secrets. Some guys are more open books. It kind of depends. But no, I never seek them out or anything like that. But after the season, we were at the MLB awards thing, and obviously Chris won the Cy Young that year, and I got the Good Guy Award, which was really cool. And so I got to sit down and talk to him for the first time, and obviously I've been watching him for a very long time, and we talked about it, and I thought it was pretty cool. So it's it's I don't know, just that was a cool moment for sure.
So when you pitch now, do you feel like you did in 2024 when you had all that success late in the year?
I would say mechanically just slightly different. That confidence kind of snowballs. So it's I'm starting to feel just more and more confident each day that I go out with. I wouldn't say new mechanics or anything like that, but it's just kind of been slowly rolling down, and I just feel like each game I just get a little bit better.
So how has being a dad changed your life?
Wow, it is the best thing. It's absolutely the best thing that's ever happened to me. Early in the year, had some rough outings, tough outings, and usually it would just be me and Talat, and it's kind of, I don't know, she's trying to help me out, and I don't really, sometimes I don't want it, or I'm just going to go in my own corner and figure out my own thing. But I don't know, having a little baby girl, and just this presence around you definitely helps out in those kind of down times. And but other than that part, she's just a super bright and beautiful baby, and she's healthy, and that's all I really care about. And it's been a fun journey watching her grow up so far, and I'm just super proud to be a dad.
Does it change your motivation or your perspective as a ball player at all?
Yeah, I would say no way.
Base is loaded now after the walk to you.
Yeah, I would say it definitely changes your perspective on things. I feel like before it was pretty selfishly, I want to go out there and do my own thing, which sometimes you kind of have to, but now there's this little thing that you kind of have to help out, and I don't know, I would say that for sure has changed a lot.
Sean, there's been so much change in this team this year from the last couple, and obviously you guys put yourself in a huge hole getting off to a rough start in April. How does this team differ from the first two that you played on as a Met? I
mean, it's a new coaching staff, new players. I feel like at the the beginning, like just like in 24, I'm a new guy and trying to get assimilated into the culture, and we got new guys, and we got different things going on, and I would say that's kind of what happened this year. I think now that we've been playing together for like 3 months now, including like spring training, we're starting to get a feel for each other. I feel like we're starting to get our stride going, and it's hasn't been the prettiest thing so far, but I know we're all grinding, but it's been a fun group of guys, and definitely very proud to be a part of this team.
There's a lot of talk on the outside about leadership within a clubhouse, but you get to see it from the inside, and you're a piece of that leadership, and you have been since you've been here. How has that developed with this new group this year?
I would say that I would say me, Francisco's been hurt, Juan, Bo, Marcus, Brooksy, Dream, Devin, like there's all these like different kind of guys, and I wouldn't say that there's any one specific kind of like, I guess, the leader of this team. I feel like it kind of rests on all of our shoulders, and I think that's I don't know, just kind of the culture we've been building.
Well, Sean, we appreciate you taking some time with us, and we're going to let you go and see if your team can score you some runs.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Sean.
Thanks, Sean.
He's just terrific.
Yes, he is.
I love talking to Sean. Meanwhile, the Mets are putting together something against Chase Burns, who gave up nothing over the first 3 innings, but a double and a couple of walks, and now a full count to Semien with the bases loaded and 1 out. And Marcus hits one slowly foul. So if nothing else, the Mets are making Burns work in this inning.
They certainly are.
And if you remember what we talked about early, that he's coming off a career-high 105 pitches his last time out, maybe they have a chance to get him out of this game a little earlier than he might have been otherwise.
Well, he needs to get 5 more outs to get a win here. I mean, he has just walked 2 batters with a 9-run lead. That's not good.
Well, if Marcus gets a hold of one here, all of a sudden, it becomes a different kind of a game. 3-2, and he drives one, but foul, and well out ahead of that, hit it up toward the upper deck. .26 pitches already in this inning for Burns. Bichette at third, Soto at second, Ewing at first, and Semien pops this one up. Infield fly rule will be called. The batter is out, and the Flames got it, 2 out. 2 infield flies in 1 inning. You don't often see that.
They can't let him off the hook here.
So that's the left of Brett Beatty, who struck out his first time up. Burns working out of the full windup. This is down with his changeup for ball 1.
I just noticed Burns' physique reminds me of a much taller Joaquin Andujar. Doesn't it?
Good call.
Yes.
One tough Dominican. Ball to strike to Beatty. Burns threw just 43 pitches total in the first 3 innings. He's about to throw his 30th pitch of this inning. And Beatty takes fastball at the knees for a strike, and it's 1-2. Burns with a chance to get out of this inning unscathed. Ahead 1-2. Beatty takes it wide. Burns dialing it up to 100. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Well, Bichette with his second double of the day. First time this year he's had 2 doubles in a game, 1 to left, 1 to right. He's the third. And Beatty goes down swinging on the slider, and that retires the side. 7 strikeouts for Burns, who works around trouble in the.
And do more this Father's Day at the Home Depot.
We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. The Reds have themselves a field day, so that means there's extra space for Steve Gelb. Steve?
Oh, is that's right? If it's less than 9-0, a closer game, I'm not relevant, huh? Is that how we're gonna do it?
I'm just saying you have more time to pontificate now than you would have otherwise.
I'm just kidding. I did think that interview you did with Sean was fantastic in the last half inning, and something that he said, guys, early on really resonated, because he mentioned at one point how having a squad in your corner and people who believe in you can lead you to doing some pretty good things. And I think people don't understand for Sean how mentally taxing the start to this season was and how dark of a place he was in. And he happens to be one of, if not the most popular players on this team, and one of the most popular players in the league. And I think one of the things that really helped him is throughout the entirety of his struggles, as there's a base hit to lead off this half inning for the Reds, everybody was so behind him and encouraging him to just keep going, to keep working, to figure it out. He never really felt like he was on an island, and he did. He just put his head down and worked so very hard to ultimately get back to this point. And so for him, as he mentioned, that start the other day was a really big deal, but actually speaking to coaches and players in this clubhouse, it was a huge deal for all of them too, because I can't remember a guy that universally people wanted to see succeed more than Sean Manaea.
Well, he is a popular guy. He's a big teddy bear. That's what he is. That's what I like to call him. He's just hasn't got a mean bone in his body. He's very affable, and I've always loved him from the get-go when he first put on the orange and blue.
So Stewart flies one out to right center, and Ewing gets over, 1 out. Well, and I think also, Steve, and you have a really good feel for this, I don't think folks understand just how much support there is down there. And Sean was talking about some of the folks like Dan McKinney and some of the trainers and some of the sports science people and all the people who come together when a player is struggling to try and be of value to them.
Yeah, that's a great point and 100% accurate when it comes to what happened with Sean. I was actually told the other day that there came a point in time right around like the Anaheim series, that long road trip, where he essentially kind of gave in to the staff and the sports science people and said, hey, I don't even need to know why I'm doing what I'm doing, because there's so many things that can get technical, and that's not how Sean works. He just said, tell me what to do and I'm going to do it. You need me to throw a plyo ball however many times, tell me how many, I'll do it. And he kind of just gave over full trust to the support staff, and give credit to them as well, because whatever they were doing, again, as Sean alluded to, it got him back really from the precipice to where he is right now.
So now Eugenio Suarez has already hit 2 home runs in this game. A 2-run homer in the first, a grand slam in the second. There have only been 2 3-home run games in the majors this year. Both have been Dodgers, Max Muncy and Andy Pages. And now Suarez will get a couple of shots. There's a good breaking ball by Pintaro, and it's 0-2. Now Suarez has not only had a 3-home run game in his career, he's had a 4-home run game.
Yes, he has.
It was April of last year.
Did he did it with Arizona?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
And he takes strike 3 called, and that retires the side. So Pintaro picks up his 3rd strikeout. Still 9-0. Go down to the farm for a status update on the Mets 2025 first-round pick Mitch Voigt on the latest episode of the Mets Pod. Subscribe and listen wherever you get your podcasts. I believe this is at least the 3rd view of the Roebling Bridge we've had during our telecast tonight.
Oh, the mighty Ohio.
Jim Melendez leading off for the Mets in the 5th inning. Mets had their chance to get back in this game in the 4th. A double and 2 walks, loaded the bases with 1 out, but Chase Burns got Simeon to pop up, struck out Beatty, and now facing the Mets in the 5th. The only crimp in Burns' night is that he threw a 32-pitch inning in the fourth, and it might preclude him getting much deeper than 5 tonight. Melendez struck out his first time up. 7 for Burns tonight.
Oh, please. His changeup has been in the dirt the whole game. It's a third pitch. Why 9-run lead? Why mess around with it?
Maybe a chance to work on it in a low pressure situation.
Well, you don't want to get in trouble and have an inning like you had last inning. Monkeying around with your third pitch.
'23-year-old Chase Burns from Hendersonville, Tennessee, by way of Naples, Italy.
Taking a lot of time there.
You know, in a normal year, you'd look at Chase Burns' year, 7-1, 2.14 ERA, and say, well, he's probably the front runner for the Cy Young. But look at what Jacob Misiorowski's doing. Look at what Christopher Sanchez is doing, even though he had a rough night last night. Look at what Shohei Ohtani is doing, and you'd say, well, maybe Burns might get a few votes if the voting were held today.
Yeah, but there's
I mean, there's so much dominant starting pitching in this league right now. I mean, Misiorowski is in the midst of a stretch of 8 starts in which he's given up 1 earned run.
It's unbelievable what he's done.
His ERA in those 8 starts is 0.17. And Melendez laid off for ball 4. There's never been an 8-start stretch for any pitcher since the earned run became a statistic in 1913, where pitchers had a lower ERA. I mean, even you know, Hershiser and Drysdale, when they had their scoreless streaks, did not have an 8-start span like that. Here's Alvarez, who grounded out his first time. 3 walks now for Burns to go with the 7 strikeouts. The Mets only have 2 hits. Both have been doubles by Bo Bichette.
He walked Melendez on a 3-2 slider, and that should be a fine. I mean, Melendez is coming into the game hitting .204, and you got a 9-run lead. No free passes. I don't care if it's Juan Soto. Here, hit it.
I think the ethic for a lot of pitchers these days, Keith, and the way they teach it is strike out or bust.
Yep, they want to strike you out. They want to embarrass you.
They want to make you look bad. Exactly. Alvarez pops one foul. That'll go out of play.
So you wonder why they blow out arms, because it's extra pitches when you walk people. You put it in play. You know, if you have a nice little 10-pitch, 12-pitch inning, you might go 7.
Alvarez bangs one up the middle, under the glove of Arroyo into center field. So Alvarez hit a shot that Arroyo couldn't catch up with, and the Mets, for the 2nd straight inning, have the first 2 men on.
And they got top of the order now. This is a bullet up the middle. Fast. Oh, another slider he threw.
So now Carson Bench up for the 3rd time. Struck out and flied out 0 for 2.
You may have a hard time getting a W here.
Well, I think that 32-pitch 4th inning really put a crimp in him. And remember, again, he's coming off most pitches he's ever thrown in a professional start his last time out. And fastball's in for a strike, and it's 1-1.
By the way, too, the scouting report on Mark Wegner, the home plate umpire, was that he was hitter friendly. He's actually called a very, very good game and a fair game, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, it's my opinion that despite the way that umpires are judged these days, it is still the case that when you get a lopsided game, umpires call more strikes.
Oh, of course. Let's just swing the bats.
Bo Bichette on deck. And bench lines one the other way, but Bleday had him played perfectly. And that's the first out. Bleday was way over toward the left field line, and that's right where he needed to be.
Pitch him away, play him away.
So now Bichette, who has been the only guy to solve Burns tonight, double to left in the first, double over the head of the right fielder Marte in the fourth.
Both sliders. Let's see if he changes the program. Yep, it's another slider.
Blocked nicely by Stevenson, ball one.
He's just making it really tough on himself, Burns, the way he's pitching in this game.
Well, consider how little experience he has. 13 games in the minor leagues. This is just his 22nd start in the big leagues. He's learning on the job, but he has got a big arm. And Bichette laces a base hit into center field. Melendez got confused and stopped between second and third, and he has to hold up. Bichette's got his third hit of the day. The only 3 hits the Mets have garnered, other than Alvarez's hit earlier in this inning.
Now you got Juan Soto. There's a fastball ripped. And one swing, it could be 9-4.
I don't know what happened to Melendez here.
You got me. I mean, I don't know what
he just stopped between second and third on a ball that was already in center field.
I have no idea what his thought process is.
I just don't get that.
Jeez.
So now Soto with the bases loaded, and he takes changeup down for ball one. Soto has struck out and walked today.
You got to be looking heater here. He's missed 1-0 with that changeup. His third pitch. He's not getting his breaking ball over, or his secondary pitches. Just sit on a heater.
And now he's behind him 2-0.
And
well, the Reds bullpen gets busy. Brock Burke is up. Burns trying to get through 5 and get himself a chance for a win with a huge lead, but up to 95 pitches now. And Soto fouls back a fastball, 2-1. Juan already has a grand slam this year, 3 in his career. That's loaded the bases with 1 out for the 2nd straight inning. Did not score in the 4th.
Oh,
and now Soto takes a slider on the outside edge, and it's 2-2.
Boy, I didn't think that was a strike. I'm surprised that Juan. Well, I thought that missed.
So bugs are bugging Soto. Go away, Nats. I used to play for them. Go away. 2-2 coming to Soto, and he popped it up. Another infield fly if it's fair. This one's in foul ground though, and Steers got it 2 out.
There's that fastball that's up in the chin. Juan tends that he can chase there, and it's even as much as he has that top hand coming across. A pitch at this elevation, it's hard to get on top.
Well, the Mets in danger of leaving them loaded for a 2nd straight inning. Jared Young popped up with 2 men on in the 4th. 0 for 2 on the day. Melendez at 3rd, Alvarez at 2nd, Bichette at 1st, and Young takes a changeup in the dirt that Stevenson keeps in the neighborhood. Ball 1. 6 scoreless innings for Zach Wheeler tonight, and the Phillies lead the Marlins 5-0 in the 7th. Marlins have been red hot, 10-2 in the month of June. Young drives one toward the gap in right center field. Racing over is Dunn. He gets there to make the catch. Darren Young making a bid for an extra base hit, but Blake Dunn using his wheels to get in the zone. Here's the road ahead, presented by Infiniti. Night game tomorrow, day game Wednesday, then it's off to Philadelphia. We'll have the Thursday night game. Friday's a day off because they have a World Cup game across the street. And then national TV Saturday and Sunday. Mets are back home a week from tonight to take on the Cubs. 4 with the Cubs, 3 with the Phillies on the next homestand.
Yep. This is a tough month for the Mets. It's a make or break month, in my opinion. The competition is and it has increased.
Well, they're playing a struggling team right now, and they'll be playing a struggling team next week in the Cubs. I mean, when we saw the Cubs early in the season, they were going great guns, but they're 10-23 since May the 9th. So it's not quite as tough as it looked when they drew it up.
You know what we'd say about that, Gary, if we were playing? We'd say, well, they came back down to earth.
Yep. Well, Marte fouls one off his foot. Well, also they got so much of their starting pitching hurt. You know, when Matthew Boyd went down, that's about when they started collapsing. Justin Steele was already out. You know, they've just got so many pitchers hurt. This Reds team, you know, they got half their bullpen out, plus missing their best player in De La Cruz. So they've lost 12 of 16, but they have themselves a field day in the first 2 innings tonight.
This will probably be I would think Pintaro's last inning if he can get 1, 2, 3. Ooh.
It's already worked 2 2/3. David Peterson has begun to loosen in the Mets bullpen, so it looks like they are not going to save him for tomorrow. And I think that's just a matter, Keith, of just not having anybody else.
Well, you're going to save your A game, your A bullpen. I mean, the Mets have had 2 opportunities back to back to get back in the game, and they left 6 men on base. Bases loaded twice.
Well, you're not going to use your A bullpen, but I mean, Austin Warren were in 2 innings 2 days ago. He would be a guy that you would use in that situation.
Yeah, but he had 40 pitches.
Yeah, just saying.
That deserves another day.
But that's my point. My point is that the Mets have used their bullpen so much over the last, really the entire season. They're right near the top in the league in bullpen innings, that the guys that you would normally pitch multiple innings in a situation like this just aren't available. And that's why Peterson has to pitch today, even though you'd probably rather save him for tomorrow to be the backup for Senga if things don't go well. It's really a pickle that the Mets have ended up in because of pitcher injuries and because of the lack of length from their starters. McLean fouls one off, and it's 1-2. Well, Pintaro has held up his end. He came in the second and got torched for the grand slam by Suarez, but since then he has put up a couple of zeros and given the Mets some length. It's 49 pitches, the most he's ever thrown in a major league game. Right off the end of the bat, a cue shot.
Nice play by Colin Cowgill down the first base line.
The former Met opening day grand slam hitting Colin Cowgill.
Yep, he made a nice little bare hand.
They actually got former Mets on both coaching lines for the Reds.
Yes, you do.
Willie Harris is their third base coach. There's Willie. So not only is this the most pitches that Pintaro's thrown in a big league game this year, he hasn't thrown this many in a minor league game either. So he's being pushed to the max. Bounces a breaking ball, and it's 2-2. Tobias Myers was the opener today, and it could not have gone worse. An inning in a third, 7 runs, 4 hits, 3 walks. Brock Burke looks like he'll be on for the top of the 6th. with Chase Burns having thrown 101 pitches. And Pintaro picks off the outside corner and gets McLean looking for his 4th strikeout.
As you mentioned, anything close, a borderline at this stage is going to be, umpire is going to raise that right arm.
As well he should. Well, the Nationals are racking up the runs again. They're up 7-3 on Kansas City in the 8th. Washington's 11-5 in their last 16 games, and they are the highest scoring team in the major leagues. Right now, with the Marlins and the Nats both playing well, it's getting harder and harder for the Mets to think about getting out of the cellar. Started the day 3.5 games behind the Marlins and 4.5 behind the Nats. That's line to left field, but right at Soto. And that retires Stevenson to end the inning. So Pintaro finishes off his stint, presumably, with a 1-2-3 inning. A.J. Ewing playing close to home here in Ohio will be leading off for the Mets in the 6th inning against lefty Brock Burke, and Steve Gilbs has more.
You know, Gary, one of the things that always fascinates me about players at this level is how just such a subtle change can make a huge difference. And Keith, I want you to tell me if this makes much sense to you, but we know A.J. Ewing has an incredibly short swing, and that doesn't really change very often for him. But occasionally, because of his setup and something he subtly does at the plate, his swing path will change. That's how it's described to me. So in those occasions, he may get a little underneath the baseball rather than down on top of it. And what he does is he just kind of drifts in the box a little bit rather than stays, kind of stagnant in his stance. And so 2 days ago, when he wasn't starting, the hitting coaches recognized this and they worked on some drills with him in the cage. Yesterday led to the 3-hit game, and not just the results of the 3 hits that were encouraging, but specifically that first at bat where he laid off 2 off-speed pitches low in the zone and then got to a high fastball, drove it the opposite way for a double. That, they said, is Ewing at his best, because as a left-hand hitter, you normally don't see guys that can get to the high pitch, but because he's got such a short stroke, when his swing path is accurate, he can hit those high pitches in a way that most lefties can't.
Well, everything's so technical today. To me, it's very basic. If you're getting under the ball, what do you want to do? You want to get on top. If I was getting under a ball, I didn't need to tell a hitting coach to tell me I'm drifting. Number one, if I'm lunging and drifting forward, I would recognize that. And that's a matter of timing. But if I'm swinging okay and I feel good up there and I'm under the ball, there's a fly ball to center field. Will it drop? Nope.
Heck, you can really run.
No doubt. If I'm under the ball, Steve, and I'm fouling balls back or I'm hitting the ball in the air, I'm going to go in the cage or BP, and I'm going to focus on the top half of the ball. Keep it basic. I don't want my swing path. Focus top of the ball, top half of the ball, hit line drives. I'm not going to hit a fly ball in BP. I'm going to hit line drives.
With what you've seen out of Ewing, what do you think about that comment that was made to me from Jeff Albert, the hitting coach, about how with most lefties, they really struggle with that high pitch?
They do.
But because of how short his swing is, he's uniquely suited to get on top of those pitches. Do you agree with that?
I agree 100% with him. Absolutely. He has the ability. And not a lot of left-handers. Now today, it's even right-hand hitters. Everybody's a low ball hitter today, even the right-handers. When I was playing back in the day, it was right-hand hitters were high ball hitters for whatever reason, and left-handers were low ball hitters. Well, nothing's changed with the left-handers, and it's very rare when you see a left-hand hitter, and even today a right-hand hitter that gets on top consistently on a high pitch.
Although the Mets have a couple of guys who do, Soto certainly handles the high pitch and gets on top. And we've seen Benj do that too recently.
Yes, but Benj I don't know how he does it. He's got a unique swing, and where to me Ewing has a classic leadoff hitter swing, line drive hitter, compact swing. I know short swing, and Steve said short. To me, the term is he's got a compact swing, quick bat. Tough. She should be a tough strikeout with that swing he's got. But
walk to Semien.
I always, when I came up, I had a hard time hitting that pitch up and away. And I remember, and I've said this before, I went and watched, didn't watch, I got the Ted Williams, The Science of Hitting, at magazine he put out about the science of hitting. And he said when he was under the ball up and away, he would set up a tire on a tree, on a branch, and set it up where the arc of the tire in the middle of it was letter high. And he said, and his term was, I remember, chop wood. And that made perfect sense to me. And that enabled me. I became a good, the best, easiest pitch to hit, really, if you think about it, is that pitch up and away, if you're level. So I kind of went on a...
So the bottom line, if you were counseling A.J. Ewing about his best approach and swing at the plate, how would you counsel him to refine himself?
I would just have him, I mean, he's not a guy that's going to hit 20-25 home runs. I think he's going to be a classic leadoff hitter. He's got a great eye. He's going to walk. Look at, he's 31 games in this is his 32nd game in the big leagues. And he's been on base. Has he been on base today? Yes, he has. So now 24 games out of 31 he's got on base. That's what you want for a leadoff hitter. Plus he can steal bases. And so I think eventually he's going to be that. That's a strike three right there. And the reason why, and it's not a criticism of Benj. Benj has got more power. Benj has got a potential to hit 20-25 home runs, and you want him more in the middle of the order, and he's fast. So I'm hopeful that he would become a third hitter because he's got speed. I always liked speed at the top. Put the big bats coming behind and have the speed at the top. I would just, have an answer to your question. Just have Ewing doing what he's doing. Just keep doing it.
There you go.
Just perfect it. Perfect it. Don't get in bad habits in BP. Stay within yourself, your strength, your line drives. Use the whole field. Up the middle.
Mark Vientos batting for MJ Melendez in the DH spot. Strike zone's wide, Mark. It's 9-0. Vientos got a start on Saturday against the Braves, drove in the only run for the Mets in a 3-1 loss. But the playing time has been sparse for Mark, with the Mets not seeing a lot of left-handed starters. He lines this one into right field for a base hit. So a pinch hit single for Vientos, and the Mets have 2 men on. That's left them loaded in the 4th. They left them loaded in the 5th. Now they've got 2 on in the 6th.
Yeah, they've got some men on base.
Chase Burns went 5, allowed no runs, 4 hits, 3 walks, 7 strikeouts, 101 pitches, lowered his ERA to 2.01. And he's now gone 11 straight starts, giving up 2 runs or fewer. Here's Alvarez, 2 on and 2 out. And Francisco drives one to deep center field. Back goes Dunn. He'll have room on the warning track. And he's got it. Side retired. Mets have left 8 runners on base the last 3 innings. Still no Jersey. New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by Moo Home Field of Smart Trading. Moo Financial Inc. Member FINRA SIPC. By HSS, #1 in orthopedics and the official hospital of the New York Mets. And by your local Honda dealers. Contact your local Honda dealer today. Well, as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning, David Peterson comes out of the bullpen for the Mets. He was expected to be the bulk reliever today. He has to soak up the last 3 innings of this game.
Yeah, the last time he pitched was against the Cardinals, and that did not go well for him. 3 2/3, gave up 6 runs.
That was as a bulk reliever. Came in the 2nd inning of that game. It's been an odd year for David. He's actually pitched better in the relief role than he has as a starter, but that certainly was not the case his last time out. But, you know, with the Mets rotation stretched thin right now, it's very much need for David Peterson to figure things out. Edwin Arroyo is 1 for 2, just the 9th game he started in the major leagues. Arroyo takes a fastball strike. Arroyo's just 22 years old. He grew up in Puerto Rico, came to Florida for his senior year in high school. He was drafted by Seattle. Grounds one to second base, and Semion's got it. Arroyo was part of the package that the Reds got from the Mariners back in 2022 when they traded away Luis Castillo, their ace pitcher. Arroyo came in that deal, so did Noelvi Marte. You know what I found out about Arroyo today? When he was a kid, he pitched left-handed.
Really?
Yeah. Fully ambidextrous. So he's a right-hander, but he pitched left-handed as a kid. And now he's a switch hitter. And I guess he could be a switch thrower if he wanted to be. Blake Dunn, who fouls one off, and it's 1-1. So, you know, there are all sorts of different things that you can experience when you come to a new city. And, you know, a lot of people when they come to Cincinnati want to try out the local delicacies. And, you know, we've had conversations about, you know, the culinary aspects of Cincinnati and the things that define this town. But you just introduced me to something that I did not know anything about.
And
the beverage that you were consuming.
The Coke that is made in Mexico.
Really?
It is the old original recipe. It's they use it with real sugar, like it was when we were kids growing up. Not what's the fake
corn syrup?
Corn syrup, which is terrible for you. Sugar's not the best thing for you, but I'll take sugar over corn syrup. And you only go around in life once.
Well, that is true. You only go around once in life, so you'd like it to last a while.
Well, you know, you got to have a little fun here and there. But
if the sugar Coke makes you happy, then I'm happy for you.
Oh, no, it is Jeff Brantley over here, the old Giant and Reds.
The cowboy.
The cowboy. He does radio over here. He's right next to us. He has got a refrigerator. He must have 6 cases of Mexican Coke in there.
Chopper behind the bag. Semien gets to it. High throw, and Young able to stay on the bag. Nicely done to get the speedy Blake done. 2 out. So let me get this straight. We're in Cincinnati, but you're drinking a cola beverage from Mexico.
Yes. I get them in New York, too. And
do they not make them in the States?
No. They make them. They make them the old. They don't make them the old-fashioned way. No, it has the corn syrup.
Now, is it legal to import?
Oh well,
this sugar Coke?
Hey,
or is this something, you know, at the edges of what's, you know, what's allowed?
Well, it is labeled here. It's a different label on it. It has. I'm not going to show it.
Is it in Spanish?
No.
Oh. Just so they make it for the U.S. market.
I want to say if it says hecho in Mexico. No, it says product of Mexico.
There you go. Beatty has Blade played perfectly and throws him out. And so Peterson's got himself a 1-2-3 inning on 3 ground balls. And look at this. We're going to the 7th.
Not. If you know, you Verbo.
Some Met fans have made their way to Cincinnati. Haven't had a whole lot to cheer about tonight, but he looks happy.
He's got bangs.
Got a mullet. Caleb Ferguson in to pitch to Carson Bench as we start the 7th inning. Ferguson, who started the year on the injured list, coming off elbow issues last year. Now with his 6th different major league team. Longtime Dodger. And Bench fouls one off. Bench has gone 0 for 3 today, lined out to left field his last time up. Mets have had scoring chances each of the last 3 innings. Loaded the bases with 1 out of the 4th, didn't score. Loaded the bases with 1 out of the 5th, didn't score. Left 2 men on in the 6th. And Carson stops the swing, 1-2. Chase Burns went the first 5 for the Reds. No runs, 4 hits, 7 strikeouts. Brock Burke pitched the 6th, no runs, 1 hit. And now Ferguson in the 7th. And that's lined the other way, and this one will be down for a hit. So the second straight time the bench has gone the other way. This time it had a result. And the Mets have a leadoff man on in the 7th. That's 6 hits for New York.
And Benj has really hit left-handers well this year. And it's his rookie year, so that's been really an eye-opener right there that he's had such success, hitting well over 300.
Now Bo Bichette has already got 3 hits today. Bill had a 4-hit game week before last in Seattle, and he's got a chance for another one today.
Oh.
Tyler Stevenson got hit on the back of the wrist. That's no fun.
Contact on the 3 hits from Bichette, excuse me. This is the ball up the middle that he ripped. That's the ball that went the other way that he ripped. And the same thing there, almost ditto right there, same spot, a little more of the plate on that one.
And up the middle with that one for his 3rd hit of the day. Down in the count here 0-2, and he fights one off his fists. Bichette's numbers are inexorably coming up.
He came into the game hitting .239, and he is on the rise.
Up to .247 now, 9 for 15 over the last 4 games. And he goes down swinging on a high fastball from Ferguson. First time Bichette's been retired tonight. 1 out.
Upstairs, chased.
So 1 out and 1 on. Now Soto. Juan is 0 for 2 and a walk tonight. Stepping out as he takes a strike from Ferguson. And again troubled by some flying objects. Well,
it's kind of a cool night. It feels cool, doesn't it? Not muggy.
No. It's fairly low humidity.
It's
very little wind.
It's pleasant.
Temperature in the upper 60s right now.
The 3 flags in left center field are limp. There's no breeze. Just really a glorious evening. It's finally turning dark.
Well, you know, the longest day of the year is next week. Summer solstice.
Then it's all downhill from there?
All downhill. Till you get to, you know, to the winter solstice right before Christmas, when it gets dark at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Did you have the solstice on the West Coast? 1-2 coming, and it's foul back. Eric Wagman is on deck to pinch hit for Jared Young, with a left-hander in the game. Phillies are about to close out the Marlins 7-0 as they play in the 9th in Philadelphia.
Is that the 6th win for Wheeler? I'm not sure.
I can tell you that in St. Louis, Dustin May has a no-hitter going through 6 innings against the Padres.
I tell you, he impressed me with the game he threw against the Mets last homestand.
I remember how good he was when he first came up with the Dodgers, and he had all the arm problems. Let's see how many pitches he's thrown, see if he has a chance. That's usually the first consideration these days.
Wheeler's going to go 6-1.
He's doing 74 pitches through 6 innings, so he might have a crack at it. One-two coming to Soto. Foul back fastball. Stanley at bat.
Well, remember we talked ad nauseum about, no matter what the score is, if you got 1 hit, you want 2. You want 2 hits, you want 3. Whether it's 9-0 you're ahead or 9-0 you're losing. Juan is not giving up this at bat.
Well, I mean, that's the nature of this sport, is that it's a team sport, but every at bat is your at bat. Whether it's a close game or a lopsided game, it goes up against your permanent record. You don't want demerits.
No. And the difference between a 300 hitter, say 600 at bats.
Stevenson challenging the ball 3 call.
I wasn't looking at the monitor, so I'm not going to make a judgment here. Aye.
So Stevenson loses the challenge. The Reds, remember, lost one in the first inning.
Not by much.
They challenged a call, and now they've lost both their challenges.
So 600 at bats, Gare, 30 hits every 100. You're a 300 hitter. It's 180 hits. 250. It's 150 hits. 30 hits is the difference between a 300 hitter and a very average, subpar 250 hitter.
Soto walks for a second time, so basically it's 1 hit a week, right? Yep. 26 weeks in a baseball season. So you get 1 extra hit a week, you go from 250 to 300.
Okay, yeah, that's another way to look at it. Absolutely. I used to look at my season in terms, and this was what Pete Rose told me. He said you would go crazy if you count each week how you did. He goes, think in terms, look at, I'm quoting Pete, and he said every 100 at bats. If you hit 350 1 month, you've got 5 hits you can fudge on. Pete had a pocket calculator.
That's rich from Pete, who could calculate his batting average from the way from home plate to first base.
But I'll never forget him saying that. You got 35 hits, and now you get 25. You're still the next 100. You're still hitting 300, but you want to add on.
There's Eric Wagman pinch hitting for Jared Young. So the Mets again have 2 men on. 4th straight inning. They've had multiple base runners. They still have not cracked the scoreboard. Reds got 3 in the first and 6 in the second, and they've been on cruise control ever since. Bench at second, Soto at first, and Wagman takes a backdoor cutter outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Wagman got a start on Saturday when Mets faced Martin Perez and the Braves, and you could tell the rust was there. He had some rough at bats, struck out his only 2 times up in that game. And that one runs inside, and now it's 3-0. A.J. Ewing on deck. And Wagman takes it high, and the Mets again have the bases loaded.
So we're seeing this bullpen here.
That is 6 walks given up by Reds pitching. The Mets walked 7 times yesterday against the Braves. In their previous 18 games, the Mets had walked a total of 11 times. So now back-to-back games, they're finally drawing some walks. This one, though, rather lopsided in favor of the Reds. Ewing trying to get the Mets on the scoreboard. Bases loaded, 1 out. And A.J. takes knee-high strike, 0-1. Ewing 0 for 2 and a walk tonight.
Well, this is what you're seeing right now. The Reds need 9 runs a game to win a ball game, it seems.
Well, part of the problem is they're missing some of their better relievers.
I say this is a strike. I thought I had the letters. It's going to be close, but I think it's a strike. All wrong.
Too high.
Good eye. See, Ewing's got a good eye.
1-1 to Ewing, so the Mets still have a challenge left.
Oh gosh, please.
Cutter misses low and away, and it's 2-1.
You're going to make me sigh. I haven't sighed in a long time, Gary. I kind of got out of that habit.
Well, you know, it's not the sighing that really gets people, you know, talking about you and trending you on Twitter. It's, you know, when you go a little beyond the sigh, like that extra inning game in St. Louis.
Oh, that was fun.
2-2 coming, and Ewing takes outside, and now it's 3-2.
How about that game in St. Louis? Was that the game you're talking about where they left all those men on base?
They had 20. I think they were 0 for 24.
Oh my!
But then they ended up winning the game.
Yes.
3-2 with the bases loaded, and Ewing slashes one foul.
Well, he's put himself in a position here, Ferguson, where he can't walk or run in.
Oh, he certainly can.
Well, yeah, but you want to get the ire of your coaching staff and your fellow teammates. You just hopefully throw a strike and maybe you'll find a glove. Strike 3.
No challenge. 2 out.
Hit the corner. And he held the glove there. He didn't frame it. I always felt with the framing that if it's a strike, the catcher knows, hold the glove right there. Let the umpire see it.
Well, Terry Francona is going to make a pitching change with a 9-0 lead in the 7th inning. He wants a right-hander to face Simeon. So Chase Petty will come in to relieve Caleb Ferguson. 9-0 Reds in the 7th. We'll be right back.
USAA, taking care of our own.
Chase Petty from Linwood, New Jersey, just down from Atlantic City, is on to pitch for the Reds. 23-year-old who was a first-round pick by the Twins, traded for Sonny Gray back in 2022. He makes his 5th appearance of the year. Bases loaded, 2 out. Marcus Semien hits a number to the right side. Coming in as Arroyo, throws out Semien. Petty throws one pitch. The Mets have now stranded 11 runners in the last 4 innings.
Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
Home 7th inning, 2nd inning of relief for David Peterson, who got a 1-2-3 6th on 3 ground balls. Eric Wagman, who pinch hit, stays in the game at first base. So the Mets, the last 4 innings, have left 11 runners on base without scoring.
Amazing.
I can't imagine that has happened too many times. And one caught Alvarez. I mean, that's hard to do.
Yep. They've had the bases loaded twice, 3 times with 1 out.
Right.
And it didn't get a run in.
The Mets coming into the day with the bases loaded were hitting .327 as a team, but 0 for 6 in this game, and 1 for 12 with runners in scoring position overall. Sal Stewart had an RBI single back in the 2nd, and he rips that one over the bag.
Nice.
Backhanded by Beatty. He plants and makes the long throw, and Wagaman scoops it out. Nice play by Beatty for the first out.
I can't say enough about Brett. Glove at third base. He has been playing a terrific third base and smartly throws the long hop to the first baseman. Even though it took 2, it's easy pick for the first baseman. That is just a fine play.
So Peterson's gotten 4 outs, all on the ground. Spencer Steer has driven in a run with a ground out, but his struggles continue. Just 1 for his last 29. And Peterson drops curveball in for a strike, 1-1. Jonathan Pintaro went 3 2/3 in relief. after Tobias Myers got blown up in his opening role. Myers gave up 7 runs in an inning and a third. Pintaro charged with 2 runs and 3 hits over 3 2/3. No walks, 4 strikeouts.
Take a look at the bounce here. Oh, it came back. That's odd. That's why he almost overran it, because that ball was hit hard. So he's assuming it's going to stay down the line, and it kicked in. So nice recovery.
Some strange spin, because that wasn't the first hop. Up and in to Steer, and that's ball 4. First base runner against Peterson, a 1-out walk. By the way, Dustin May's no-hit bid ended. He's still in there, though, in the 8th inning. So only giving up 1 hit. Cardinals lead the Padres 3-0. So now Eugenio Suarez gets another crack at a 3-home-run game. He had 2 home runs, 1 in each of the first 2 innings. A 2-run shot in the first off Myers, a grand slam in the second off Pintaro. The second grand slam for the Reds this year. Tyler Stevenson has the other. Big cut, 0-2. Spectrum high-speed hitting. They are a home run oriented team, which makes sense in this ballpark. They draw walks, they hit home runs, they strike out a lot. And Suarez strikes out for the 2nd time tonight. 5th most walks, 2nd most strikeouts, and they're 4th in the league in home runs. That is how they generate their offense. That has certainly been the case tonight. 6 of their 9 runs coming on 2 swats of the bat by Suarez. 2 away now, Marte, who is 0 for 3. And Marte tried to hold, but he went around. 1 ball, 1 strike. This is a game that's kind of an aberration for the Reds. Since they've lost Ellie De La Cruz, the 12 games since he's been out, they're averaging 3.1 runs per game. They were averaging 4.4 when De La Cruz played.
Well, the Red fans are hanging around. They want to see the victory. Stay here to the end.
Why wouldn't they? It's a beautiful night.
Oh, yeah. No doubt.
There's hot dogs. There's beer.
The banks of the Ohio.
You know, when we play in Pittsburgh and a left-hand hitter hits a home run, they can hit a home run into the Allegheny River.
Right.
Here we're on the banks of the Ohio, but I think it's about 600 feet from home plate to the river.
Be tough to do.
Yeah.
The buses have taken the path around the right field. Well, yeah, it's
a road.
Yeah, the road back
between
there.
here and the river.
No doubt.
And then there's a little running path too, which goes all the way down the river, which is kind of nice. Marte stays alive. So after the game, maybe a little Raiders ice cream before bedtime.
I prefer to have a rye Manhattan.
Oh, okay. I was not going to go there, but you know.
And not the rye or bourbon float. The Manhattan.
I know you mentioned the bourbon float yesterday. That was a new concept for us.
I just may have to. A game like this.
So your consumption is based on the quality of the baseball?
Yes. So we have to work hard on a game like this. I'm sure we've held all of our Met fans. They're glued to the TV.
Well, I know they always pay attention in these late innings of lopsided games because there's no telling what you might. Well, it's not pickleball, but it is ping pong. There's some really bad ping pong players.
Oh, boy.
You got to go watch Marty Supreme. Red Beatty pops up the first pitch he sees in the 8th inning. 2 hands for Suarez, 1 out. Let's check in with the studio, see what the guys on Mercedes-Benz Postgame Live have cooked up for this one. Gentlemen.
No, Gary, we're cooking stuff up here. Tobias Myers not the return to the big leagues that he was looking for.
And the offense creating a lot of traffic, but not able to break through, Gary.
All right, we'll see you guys coming up on the postgame show. We'll continue to cook.
Get it on a nice low simmer there, Gary. Mark Vientos flies one into center field. 2 pitches, 2 outs for Chase Petty in the 8th.
Yeah.
So here's the thing about this game. The Mets have had 12 base runners. The Reds have had 12 base runners.
And the Reds have 9 runs and the Mets have zip.
I mean, that's almost impossible.
Almost.
Mets have 6 hits and 6 walks. The Reds have 7 hits, 4 walks, and a hit by pitch. 12 and 12 equals 9 and nothing.
A game like this, I could take my eyes off of the monitor and just watch the field because it's 9-0 and it's late.
But why don't you just do that anyway?
Because I like, you know me, I like to see the pitch and the contact. And
see, when we're home, you can do both because you have the monitor right in front of you.
Yes,
and the game,
and I love that. Yes,
right beyond it. But here on the road, as Alvarez smokes one to center field, and Dunn is there.
Boy,
sorry, we can't talk anymore because it was a 4-pitch inning. I had so much more to say to you. He's going to have to win. Yes, he will. Juan Soto will be off his feet for the rest of this game. Vidal Brujan comes in to play left field.
And Brujan will get an at-bat. He will be 3rd in the order in the 9th.
What do we got going on here? A little needlepoint. The dentist glasses are pretty impressive.
Oh, and she's got double glasses.
Yeah.
Oh, well, she can really see.
She's very magnified.
I do that when I do my models. I like to work models.
Like balsa wood?
No,
model?
not balsa, plastic.
Plastic.
Yes.
Like kids models? Like
no, like
building airplanes?
Yeah, I love that. World War I airplanes. I love to do that.
I
do camouflage on them too.
Do you use kits or you make them from scratch?
Oh, I get them the whole.
The kit and caboodle?
Yeah, I loved doing that when I was a kid.
Use the little what's the glue called that you use?
Oh, it's just glue.
Gorilla glue?
No. You can't. You got it. That won't cut it. You need not even crazy glue guys in the truck.
Elmer's?
No. It's a special kind of glue that's plastic. It's clear.
Model glue.
Yeah.
Challenged by Alvarez?
Really?
And it's a ball. So both teams are out of challenges now. Probably just as well.
Yes. No more interruptions.
Well, wouldn't consider it an interruption. It's all part of the fabric of the game. And that's a walk. So McLean on base for the 3rd time. Second walk for Peterson, who's worked 2 innings plus in relief. Now, the only saving grace in this game is that the Mets will get away with only using 3 pitchers. Myers for an inning of third, Pintara for 3 2/3, and now Peterson trying to finish a 3rd inning. Tyler Stevenson 1 for 3 tonight.
You know, another thing too, Gary, about using Peterson is that the Mets have 4 lefties in the bullpen. So, you know, so they could use Peterson here the extra inning instead of bringing in Torrens to finish, because you got Perez, Minter, and Raley will be ready tomorrow.
That's lined over short, a base hit. So Stevenson has his 2nd hit of the day. First hit given up by Peterson.
Bell tie fastball down the middle.
So now Edwin Arroyo, and I don't think he's going to be asked to bunt this time.
No, I agree. Unless you want to get him hurt.
I am told that acrylic-based cement is the best bonding material for the models that you use.
Okay.
Is that what you?
Yeah. I like to do the old sailing ships too, the old man of wars.
The one that go in the bottle?
That have no. You can get with the rigging and the sails. It's you know, those 110 gun galleons. I love doing that stuff. I haven't done it in a while. I might do it this winter.
Do you find that your fine motor skills are as good now as they were when you were young?
I have glasses like the woman we showed that really can bring it into focus, and I have all kinds of tools, tweezers, and things to hold.
And you're
and I'm very fine with.
It's laced to center field, and Ewing gets back to grab it, 1 out. So your hands are still as finely coordinated as they were when you were playing.
Yes.
And you can do that close work without slippage.
And I use the painter's tape, the blue tape.
Right.
If you have to do in the hull of a ship, you got the water line that's painted red underneath, and you got to have that perfect line going down the ship. You got to put the tape. I just love doing that sort of thing.
What kind of paint do you use? Is it enamel?
It's enamel.
Yeah.
And if you have to do a big broad like the hull of a ship on the underside, you can actually use spray paint. You know, just because.
Sounds like cheating.
No.
One to Blake Dunn.
There you go. You didn't know I did that, did you? That's a something. See what happens in a 9-0 game.
Maybe you can take up needlepoint. Fly ball out to center. Another play for Ewing. And Dunn is retired, 2 out. Well, looking ahead to the 9th inning, as the Mets will be looking to rally, they've got the top of the batting order coming up. Benj, Bichette, and Brujan, the Killer Bees.
I guarantee you one thing. There'll be no giving away of at-bats.
Well,
not from Benj.
Well, let's see. Chase Petty came into the game with 2 outs in the 7th. He's faced 4 batters and thrown a total of 5 pitches.
And that would be Simeon, Beatty, Vientos, Alvarez. Well, last inning was, that was what, a 4-pitch inning?
Well, we saw that last week. Remember when the Mets fell behind against the Cardinals in those 2 games? And the last 3 or 4 innings, they just kind of mailed in their at-bats?
It certainly seemed that way.
I will say they didn't do that through the middle of this game. They had some great at-bats. They just weren't able to score.
They couldn't get the hits.
And Bleday unloads one to deep right field. Back goes Benj. Right at the wall. He jumps. He can't get it. It's a 3-run homer.
J.J. Bleday just got it over Benj's outstretched glove for his 13th home run of the year. And that's the icing on the cake for the Reds. They lead it 12-0.
Hanging breaking ball, I believe, and Peterson is 1 out away from having 3 scoreless, and this just rains on his parade right here. Now it's 3 earned runs in 3 innings pitched.
So it's an even dozen for the Reds and a lost night for the Mets. Third home run of the game for Cincinnati. They've scored 9 of their 12 runs on 3 swings. Suarez a 2-run homer in the first, a grand slam in the second. Now Bleday a 3-run homer in the 8th. Reds with 12 runs on only 9 hits. 2-2 to Stewart. Well, the Mets will have Kodai Senga on the mound tomorrow night for game 2 of the series.
That'll be interesting.
The plan was for him to have another rehab outing. It would have been his last because the rehab clock was going to run out. But his last rehab start was encouraging. He went 6 good innings. Felt good afterward through a bullpen session yesterday. And so the Mets decided, well, what the heck, we're going to plug him in with Christian Scott going on the injured list. And the Mets will hope that they get the best of Kodai Senga tomorrow night. Stewart bounces one behind the bag at third. Long throw for Beatty. Right on target. Side retired. Bleday's 3-run homer makes it 12-0 Cincinnati going 55. Ninth inning, Mets down 12-0. Chase Petty's already gotten 4 outs on 5 pitches. Carson Benj leads off in the 9th and takes a strike. Benj is 1 for 4 at a base hit to left his last time up. Bichette on deck, and then Vidal Brujan as the Mets bat against Petty, the New Jersey native, in the 9th. Ball and 2 strikes to Benj. Chase Burns is in line for the win. 5 scoreless innings tonight. Took him 100 pitches to do it, but
that'll make him 8-1 on the year, and he didn't give up any runs, so that will decrease his ERA
down to 2.01. Brock Burke gave them a scoreless inning. Caleb Ferguson got a couple outs, and Petty's been in to try and finish it. Two coming to Benj. And he lifts one out to left. Now Bleday is right there waiting for it. 1 out. Honda Sports Night comes your way tonight after the postgame show. We'll have the day in baseball. Get you ready for the Knicks parade on Thursday. Lots more on Honda Sports Night tonight and every night on SNY.
Is there an out-of-town scoreboard here? I've been looking all over for it.
They don't keep it up. They flash it every now and again.
Okay.
Bo Bichette's had the best night of any Met hitter. He's 3 for 4, a single and 2 doubles. There's some out-of-town scores right there.
Okay.
Take you wherever you want to go.
I'd like the out-of-town scoreboards to be up on the outfield, on the big screen, the big scoreboards.
The final in St. Louis, the Cardinals beat the Padres 3-0. Dustin May went the distance on a 1-hitter. Don't see that too often.
Padres continue to not hit.
Chopper toward the middle of the diamond. McLean has the hop. And throws out Bichette, 2 away. So the Mets are down to their final out. If the Mets don't score here in the ninth, this would be their most lopsided shutout loss since 2018, when they were beaten 15-0 by the Nationals. Vidal Brujan came into the game to give Soto an inning off. So Brujan gets his first at bat of the game. He's got 1 hit as a Met. It was a bunt. Dustin May threw 101 pitches in his 1-hit shutout tonight, 9 strikeouts. A very impressive outing from May, who looked good against the Mets last week as well.
Sure did. Back-to-back good outings.
Ball and a strike to Brujan. Eric Wagaman would be next. Changeup misses down. 2 balls and a strike. And Brujan fouls it off. And Petty needs 1 more strike. Crowd of just under 20,000 in Cincinnati, enjoying a rare respite from the Reds' recent troubles. This will be just their 5th win in their last 17 games. And a full count. Not done yet. Oh, 1 more strikeout for Pizza. No Pizza yet.
It's got
what is it, 11 strikeouts? Because they have 10. Well, they need 11 strikeouts to get Pizza.
Yeah, Beatty had, I didn't realize this, Beatty had the sombrero, the golden.
Pizza.
Oh, that'll get him.
So the Reds take the opening game of this series. Eugenio Suarez, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs. Chase Burns, 5 scoreless innings for the win. Mets are shut out for the 8th time this year. Their most lopsided shutout loss in 8 seasons, as the Reds win this one 12-0.
Well, they were out of it early, and there's your hero of the game. 2 home runs from Mr. Suarez. Eugenio in the first inning, a 2-run shot, and then in the second inning, a grand slam. 6 RBIs on the day.
And along the way, the Mets had a 4-inning stretch where they left 11 runners on base and never scored. Chase Petty got the last 7 outs. Burns goes to 8-1 with a 2.01 ERA as the Reds thump the Mets tonight 12-0. New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by your Tri-State Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyOffers.com. By Suffolk Credit Union. Be a HELOC hero at Suffolk Credit Union. By Bet365, where winning is everything. And by Hyundai. Hyundai gives you America's best warranty on every new vehicle. Visit Hyundai.com for more information. Final score tonight, the Reds 12, the Mets nothing. Game 2 of this series tomorrow. Kodai Senga makes his return for the Mets. He'll be opposed by Brady Singer. First pitch at 7:10. Our coverage begins at 6:30 tomorrow night right here on SNY. Now for Keith Hernandez, Steve Gelbs, and our entire SNY crew, I'm Gary Cohen in Cincinnati. After this break, it's Mercedes.